What's up, boys? Welcome back to the video. Today we are reacting to Fortnite skill gap is brutal, basically meaning from noob to pro is probably the hardest thing to get to at this moment. It's a resub video, so I think it's gonna be absolutely amazing. But enjoy the video. Let's get into it.
The skill gap in Fortnite is so massive that a casual player doesn't even stand
Massive.
And you know what else is massive?
the chance against an average competitive player. But it doesn't stop there. Competitive players struggle to even touch players with earnings, earners get outclassed by pros, and even pros can barely damage the best players in the world in a 1v1.
That's
Today,
true.
I'm breaking down these 6
That is
tiers
true.
of Fortnite players to show you truly how insane Fortnite's skill gap really is.
It is insane.
First tier is obviously casuals. To see how they actually play, I hopped into a low elo lobby of the Pickle Rick Skin Cup on OCE, and honestly, I was shocked.
My,
There
what
were
did I
players
just
with
see?
20 second
These players are literally all of you guys watching. Sorry.
floater glides.
Comment below right now. Are you a casual? Yes or no?
One guy landed and just pickaxed through a roof and tried to pickaxe a guy who already had a gun. I saw 3 players land at the same house. 2 of them didn't even have a weapon. I've seen some crazy stuff. Players of the skill level will basically lose every single fight to someone who can build and understands right-hand peaks. Then most of the eliminations that they do get, they're just heavily relying on their aim and 50-50. There's a huge percentage of the Fortnite population that are in this skill bracket. But that's okay
my
because not
gosh.
everyone's a competitive player, and sometimes people just jump into tournaments because they might like the idea of winning the skin.
That's
Next
true.
tier up
Very
is
true.
the sweat. Now, in a lobby full of casuals, a sweat will look like prime Peterbot, but in reality, the majority of these players just have an okay understanding of basic Fortnite fundamentals. I hunted through some of the tournament matches until I found Phantom Menace 72. Now, in ranked, he made Elite in Chapter 5, Season 1, and then he was between Gold and Silver for the rest of the chapter. Then this season, he made Unreal for the first time, and he's just started to dip his toes into competitive as he's just started to play his first few tournaments, which is really cool to see. Right off the bat, you can see his drops are significantly better than the casual tier, which allows him to grab the combat shotgun and get an easy elimination off the rip. Now, this wasn't a drop map perfect glide you would see a pro player do, but it was significantly better than some of the 20-second late floaters we've seen from the casuals.
Valid.
You can see he has a good understanding of box fighting. He knows
Right
how
hand
to scroll
peek.
reset, he knows how to make good right hand peeks when he edits, and that allows him to completely wipe out some of the more casual players in this lobby. Now, if you're watching any of my content, I think you realize, you know, this guy's not crazy by any means. However, of the 177,000 players who played this tournament, he placed 14,773rd.
Not a bad shout.
Placed in the top 8.3%.
Not a bad shout.
So you can see that by learning some basic fighting mechanics, he's already better than 90% of people playing this tournament. Yeah. So a little practice definitely goes a long way. Next tier up is competitive players. This is actually where I put myself, and this category is not just for the average players who play competitive, as this would just put them in the top 50% of tournaments, and as we already know, Sweat's already closer to the top 10%, so this wouldn't really make much sense. But this tier is more for players who have actually grinded competitive Fortnite and have tried to get good at it. And this is where the average of those type of players would fall. At this point, talking about what each rank each player is, it doesn't actually really make sense because everyone from here and above is easily in Unreal rank. So instead, I'm going to look at their tournament results and where they rank based on PR in Europe, because that's the region I'm looking at right now. Competitive players absolutely dwarf the average Sweat. If I load into a Phil 1v1, Zone Wars, Reload Ranked, there is a high probability that I will be the best player in that lobby. Competitive players usually have a pretty decent understanding of the game. They might understand dead side, their rotations, early game strategies, drop maps, how to fight. However, they have a ton of weak areas. Using myself in this example, I struggle to make it deep into stacked endgames. In the last little Cash Cup, which is only open to Unreal players, unlike the Pickle Rick Skim Cup we looked at earlier, I made 4 endgames and placed 16th, 10th, 20th, and 25th.
That's not that good.
Skilled with other competitive players, which makes it very difficult to get eliminations because fights take a long time. There are also a lot of players above my skill level, which to them, I am a free kill. So since I am nowhere near the skill level where I can play out a game perfectly, as I waste a bunch of materials and every rotate and then run out, this makes it really difficult to actually get refreshes and eliminations in endgame to get my materials back, because other players are either just my level or above for the most part. However, there's still a big difference between someone my level and a Sweat like Phantom Menace, as he also played this tournament, and he was only able to get a total of 4 eliminations, whereas I got 10. He also dealt 950 damage total across 7 games, whereas I dealt 3,486. So a pretty stark difference between the 2 tiers. So how close is a competitive player to someone who actually earns in tournaments?
Big difference, Loki, I think.
He recently qualified to Division 1 in both EU and NA Central, and has earned in 7 solo victory cash guts. He's currently ranked 685th in Europe as of recording this, and he placed top 1,747th 7th in the recent solo victory Cash Cup Opens, which is actually a pretty low placement for him.
Okay, I actually want to see what I'm ranked. I have zero clue what I'm ranked. Year of 2026. Right now, I'm 3rd in NA Central. My teammate's number 1. Hey, WX in the chat.
Around top 500 on average. He made 4 end games and placed 7th, 1st, 6th, and 5th. Now remember, I also made 4 end games, but placed 16th, 10th, 20th, and 25th. Bass is incredibly smart at crafting a smart game plan, using items that others often don't, as he was one of the first to abuse stealth splashes and invisibility. But he also plays the end games very efficiently, unlike someone like myself. He barely wastes any materials on every single time he rotates in boxes. He always chooses good layers, and he always has a really good understanding of the meta. Now, looking at the eliminations, I actually got more eliminations than him in this tournament, and I had a better damage ratio. So you may think because he uses a stealth splash strat and based on these stats that he just made it into Division 1 because he's smart and that he can't fight at all. So I tested this in a 1v1. I also 1v1'd a pro and then Shark, a tier 1 player after this, so that I could myself feel the difference between what it's like fighting someone from each of these tiers. Now, one of the main differences between me and Bass when we 1v1'd was just aim. There were a few good times where I was able to piece him and get some damage off, but I just wasn't able to finish my dinner. From a mechanical perspective, both of us weren't making fantastic peaks by any means, and we were giving each other a lot of opportunities for the other person to hit them. But every time that popped up, he just hit harder and ended up actually beating me 5-0. 5-0? The difference to me between a competitive player and someone who actually earns is just a mastery of the basics. That's smart and can come up with a good game plan. But more importantly, he can actually execute that, unlike myself. And he can actually hit a shot. So what about a pro player then? Well, I also invited Dexy, a pro player who's currently ranked 74th in Europe and placed 10th in
is 74th pro
earlier this season.
I don't even know what I don't even know what pro. I don't know. What is pro nowadays?
In the 1v1s against Bass, Dexy actually lost 3-5. Now, in his defense, he was winning most of the rounds and was clearly mechanically better and honestly just a better fighter, but Bass's aim was genuinely nuts and he one-pumped him 3 different times. So maybe if we went more rounds, this would have been different.
That's crazy.
I also one-pumped Dexy in our 1v1s, so maybe he's just a one-pump magnet. You never know.
What? Oh, the Matt.
Well, the solo Cash Cup was a completely different story. Overall, Dexy got 32 eliminations with a damage ratio of 2.8, which completely blows
these stats are definitely different by a lot.
Out of the war. The main difference between pros and earners is just how easily and fast they're able to wipe out competitive players. So at this level, almost every single pro will W key their first match and go for high eliminations because there's just a very low chance that they'll die. And even if they do, they can just try again in the next game because most of the time they don't run out of games and qualifying for finals is pretty easy. In this solo Cash Cup, for example, he dropped a 16 elimination win, which is almost the same amount of elims as me and Bass got throughout the entire tournament combined. Since pros are just so much better at fighting, that also means that they're way better at getting refreshes on their materials in the moving zones. This means that they can afford to make a mistake or two early in the match, maybe take a fight that other players wouldn't, as they can win those fights, and even if they start to run low on materials in the end game, then they can take a different fight to get their materials refreshed. When I 1v1 Dexy, and from my personal experience 1v1ing other bros, it really is clear how little opportunities that they give you to hit them. Here, I wanted to double edit and then jump to the right to take a shot on a right-hand peak, thinking he would place a wall in front of me, but Dexy had already placed that wall in front of me and edited it and one-pumped me before I could even jump. He read the play like an absolute book. Then here, I pieced him and I get doubles, but he just grabs a wall between me and one-pumps me through a window. Pros take advantage of every single mistake that you make. Like here, for example, I left a wall open behind me, but he just placed a ramp, slid shot me, placed a ramp in my box and grabbed the wall and then double edit it to pump me from behind a good right-hand peak. Of course, I did hit the lucky 200 here, so I think you should subscribe. The thing is, this does not happen with the best players in the world. The final player I invited to this 1v1 gauntlet was Shark. He is the best fighter in Europe right now. He's currently playing with TD, and they've won both Reload Elite Series finals and 1 Divisional Cup finals as well. He's currently 4th in Europe this year with over $40,000 earned in just 2 months.
That is crazy.
1v1ing him was depressing.
1v1ing him, dude.
So bad at a game in my life. I literally could not hit him. There's been a trend lately of content creators going against pros with the first to 100, with the content creator getting a 99 elim lead. All they need to do is win 1 single round, whereas the pro has to win 100. Now, you may think this sounds easy. I could get a lucky 200 pump, it would be no problem. But I'm here to tell you that against the best players in the world, you will not. Ronaldo, who has won an FNCS, and sure he may be a little bit washed, lost 100 rounds in a row to Peterball. When I played Shark, I only played 5 rounds, and as a reminder, I have been playing competitive Fortnite for 8 years. I've studied the best players in the world, world. I made countless videos on how to improve your fighting and covered basically every single strat you can think of in that period. And
that's so funny, bro.
0 damage to Shark in 5 rounds.
This is so funny. Like I swear I don't even think tier 1 pros like noticed. Like I didn't even like, yeah, I don't think they know that of like how much of a skill gap is. Cause bro, I don't even realize it's this much of a skill gap. Like I know like when I'm competing, there's a fat skill gap, but not this much.
Made a joke at the start that you need to watch out because I might hit him with a lucky 200, similar to what I did against pro player Dexy, and his response was, be scared. There might be a random bailout pump, you know?
Okay.
Now, anytime you set up to make a play or change an angle, he's already pieced it and is sitting with his pump out. Here I see he's in front of me, and I'd suck, so I accidentally put myself under a stair, but I see that he's placed doubles above me and to the left in wood. So I attempt to go out to my right. Suddenly, I run into his wall, so I think he's going to drop down on that side, so I turn to run out the other side, and I grab the wall to edit out so that I can't get boxed. But he's already there, and he's 200 pumping me. Now, from his POV, he placed a floor directly above me, and then edited this tile to grab the wall, and then knowing I'd run out the other way, drops down there with his pump out and hits me for 200. And even if I had my pump out after that edit, he instantly edited the cone to block the shot and exit the box to the left. Literally any time I thought I shot him, he would just kill me first. I dealt 0 damage in 5 rounds, but I was not the only one to 1v1 him.
Damage,
I had Bass, our Div 1 player, and Dexy, our pro player, did it too. Bass, with his nuts aim and gun out Gary playstyle, did around 400 damage, but the rounds honestly were not even close. Even if he got him, there was one round, for example, where he got into his box.
Yo, this Bass dude got potential.
Some play to win the round. Most of Bass's strategy does revolve around his great aim and getting into box. So here you can see that he cracked him, got him weak, and then phased into the box. But notice the movement out of Shark. He intentionally walked to the back corner of the box, so you could use his credit to protect himself from Bass's shot and kill him. And then
Bass had a bad aim.
58 damage across the 5 rounds.
58?
Now remember, Dexy is currently ranked 74th in Europe. He placed 10th in the solo series finals. He's an incredible solo player, but he could barely hit him across 5 rounds.
That's crazy.
How this translates into tournaments is very interesting. Where Dexy's highest elimination match in the most recent solo cash cup was 16 eliminations, Shark dropped 23. Now it doesn't sound that different until you realize that Shark actually died when there were still 15 players left. And throughout the last 14 solo tournaments, Dexy has averaged a highest elimination game of 15.7, where Shark's was 26.3. For reference, Dexy's highest elimination game was 23, whereas Shark had 3 different 34 eliminations.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
One of these events was particularly interesting to look at, which was the Nvidia Cup, as Shark placed first and Dexy placed second. Across the entire event, Shark had 92 eliminations, whereas Dexy had 51. And it's not like he wasn't fragging and playing well in these matches. He had some of the highest eliminations in the tournament. It's just that Shark was that far ahead. Tier 1 players can dominate pros in fights like it's nothing, so it's no surprise that in a low elo lobby full of competitive players, or 1v1ing someone like myself, they can finish fights in a matter of seconds. It's always funny when I read comments from players saying that they would be a pro if they were on 0
people
ping,
say this.
because Shark is doing all of this on 30 ping, and his teammate Teeny dropped a 30 elimination match.
Okay, Shark doing that on 30 ping is very impressive.
Match on any central on over 100 ping. Tier 1 players spend most of their day fighting other Tier 1 players, and that gives them such a deep understanding of every single play that another player might make. So fighting pros or earners or competitive players, it's just literally effortless in comparison. It does make me feel slightly less bad for not even damaging him in our 1v1. Please like the video.
I'm not gonna lie, Roix always has absolute bangers. This is another great video that even impressed me of like knowing, the skill gap is crazy. Like it really is. Like pro is different than tier 1 pro. Like there is literally full levels of it, and this just showed me even more, dude. Like even the average player doesn't. I think even a comp earner, if you do 100 versus someone who's earned $100 versus a tier 1 pro, not getting a single round. I fully believe that. But besides the point, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment other videos you guys want me to react to. And please comment what type of player are you? Casual, noob, pro, comp earner, or tier 1 pro? I know none of you are tier 1 pros. Let's see you guys in the next video.